Oh, hey guys, it's Toby here. Why don't you come on and pull up a chair? Because for the next few minutes, I'd like to speak about a common yet very serious issue that just about all us aging guys are facing, and that's our deteriorating hormone health. This epidemic among us older men leads to a condition that's called low testosterone. And most men don't realize this, but certain health concerns, like gradual weight gain, low energy levels, or muscle loss, aren't always caused by a poor diet or a lack of exercise like most of us tend to think. In fact, that's why older men who decide to hop on the diet and exercise bandwagon oftentimes see little to actually no improvements in their body weight at all. Okay, so what's the major cause of it all then? Well, the main source of these chronic issues comes from the drastic decrease in a man's testosterone production. That's why they call it low T. Now guys, if you are personally experiencing weight gain, or maybe you're constantly tired all the time, and maybe even you've noticed that your muscles and joints are weakening, there's a good chance that your testosterone levels are lower than they actually should be. So for all of you guys out there who are looking for a safe, effective method to put an end to this hormone issue, then I highly encourage you to skip ahead and go check out that free video presentation I shared on my website. And in that video presentation, you'll be able to see the one simple thing that you can do right now to optimize your hormone levels naturally. And all you have to do is just click the video on the bottom corner or go to reloadyourtest.com. Okay, so what makes low T so bad, huh? Well, it can literally transform a man from being strong and healthy into the exact opposite. Someone who looks and feels not so much like a man at all. So depending on how critical your condition is, low T can cause a man's body to become severely frail. It can lower your bone density, cause unwanted weight gain, mood swings, depression, and even kill your sex drive. And not to mention the one embarrassing thing that most guys think will absolutely never happen to us in a million years, ED, and that's erectile dysfunction. Now, just speaking from my own personal experience, struggling with the appearance of belly fat and facing a loss in sexual desire can be the most embarrassing thing in the world, even if it's something that only you and your wife know about. But you know what can be even more frustrating? Is that we're literally watching it happen day after day, looking in the mirror and seeing the condition of your body worsen as the weeks, months, and yes, even years pass. And this is something that you told yourself you'd never allow for yourself or your health. But the fact is, it is happening and it will continue to happen until you do something about it. Now combine that with the rising health concerns that we're forced to face as we age. Many men out there begin to lose their confidence at the workplace. They even doubt their ability to satisfy or keep the women in their life truly happy. Now, like most men, it just makes you feel totally lost. You know, like you have nowhere to go, or maybe no one to turn to, and absolutely no clue where to look for help. Okay, so what do most men do anyway? Well, they end up going to the doctor seeking pharmaceutical treatment. Now, I don't blame them for jumping straight to the doctor for help. I mean, come on. We see doctors all over the internet, in the radio, and on TV with the promises of fast, easy results with hormone treatments. Now, with that being said, it's true. Medical treatments actually do work. However, there is a great price to pay for using them, just like any other pharmaceutical drug out there. And no, it's not the thousands of dollars that you're going to end up spending on the treatment that actually matters. It's the price of physical side effects that come along with them. You see, guys, most men don't realize that medical treatments are just temporary quick fixes or cover-ups. These drugs are not medically formulated to fix or raise a man's natural testosterone production. In fact, they're actually designed to shut down your internal male testosterone production. That's the exact opposite of what you would want, right? Now, this happens because you're essentially replacing your natural testosterone production with a synthetic version of testosterone. And that means instead of your body making more testosterone by itself, you are simply injecting it into your body. Now, when this occurs, your brain will tell the body that you no longer need your natural testosterone production anymore, since you now are getting it from an outside source. And that's why when you are on medical testosterone treatments, your testicles, the master male organ, that produces testosterone, sperm, and other vital male needs may actually shrink to the size of a peanut. Get a load of that. Use it or lose it, right? And that's why it's called testosterone replacement therapy and not testosterone production therapy. Now, as a straight shooter, I just have to give you a heads up if you plan on seeing a doctor for this type of treatment. So listen up, guys. These testosterone replacement therapies live under the disguise of what medicine doesn't actually want us to see them as: legalized steroids. The very same steroids that cause all those dangerous and even fatal diseases that you read and hear about all the time. So guys, if you're planning on seeing a doctor for testosterone replacement, do yourself a favor and do some more research first, would you? Now for me, cutting my life short is definitely not part of my plan, but it's all up to you guys. Listen, it's your rodeo, so you go right ahead and you ride the most dangerous bull you can find if you want to. But all jokes aside, I hope what I've said has cleared up enough for you to understand that testosterone replacement therapy is not a solution. It's a lifelong commitment. That means if you were to stop your treatment, you would not only be left with dangerously low testosterone levels once again, you'll be far worse off than you were to begin with. And honestly, guys, I don't have to tell you how these drugs can affect you. I mean, you've seen some of your favorite athletes and bodybuilders have their bodies crumble away when they stop using them, or as they even get older. Now listen, guys, as a man, we just have to learn how to raise testosterone to its peak level again, naturally, and avoid any risk of added side effects with medical treatment. So now what I'd like to do is formally introduce myself. My name's Toby Buttle, the senior trainer to the #1 channel on YouTube for men over 40. And this year, I just turned 64. So I'm no stranger to low testosterone. Now, I remember 15 years ago, I must have been around my late 40s or early 50s, and I noticed my clothes are fitting tighter and tighter. And I started gaining a few pounds here and there. And I'm thinking, hey, no big deal, right? It's just a few pounds. And besides, it's all part of getting older. But the weight kept piling on, month after month, year after year. I didn't think it was ever going to end. And by the time I was in my mid-50s, I started getting really, really concerned. So like most men, I met with a doctor from a Mayo clinic. We did the whole blood test thing. And I found out that my testosterone level was actually right around 277 nanograms per deciliter, which is about 60% lower than when I was in my 20s and 30s. And it's important to note that this was done early in the morning when our testosterone levels are at the highest. Unfortunately, once you pass 11 a.m., your testosterone levels can become much lower. Now, the normal testosterone range for any healthy man needs to be around 350 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. But in order to lose your belly fat, have a flat stomach, and yes, have a healthy sex life, you would need your testosterone levels to be around 800 to 1,100, the optimum testosterone level for a man. Now, at the time, my doctor actually suggested testosterone replacement therapy. But after learning more about the dangerous long-term, short-term, and even permanent side effects, I decided to actually look for other options. Now, besides shutting down your natural testosterone and making you depend on lifelong treatments, I also discovered that it can cause male breast growth, permanent hair loss, heart enlargement, and other fatal diseases. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, the risk is not worth cutting my life short. I mean, come on, I have a family that depends on me, you know? So I did my own research on natural testosterone boosting techniques. And it was actually during this time that I discovered that there were clinically tested minerals and nutrients and other simple testosterone supporting techniques for improving a man's testosterone levels. These training techniques and specific testosterone boosting nutrients really helped me get my testosterone production back up to where it should be. Now, with an improved testosterone level, it actually helped me to also get rid of my belly fat and get back into shape. My golf buddies and other men would ask me all the time what I did. So what I did is I got smart and I started making these types of short male health videos for them so that they too can improve themselves. You know, it was just easier to share a video than try to explain it over and over again. In fact, the reason I'm here today is because of this testosterone boosting discovery. It helped me gain so much support from men out there that I was invited to be the senior trainer to the #1 most subscribed YouTube channel for men over 40. And remember guys, testosterone replacement therapy is not a healthy long-term solution. And as far as supplements, we all know that they usually only have one useful ingredient, and the rest, well, they're just fillers. And that means you have to buy up to 5 bottles just to get what you need. Now back then, and I'm talking about 10 years or so ago, science wasn't where it is today. So most men just thought medical treatment was their only option to treating low testosterone, which, like I said, wasn't for me due to the risky side effects. Now listen, that's just me, but at the end of the day, it's still up to you and what you're willing to risk in the end. So I thought eating the right foods that contain the key testosterone boosting nutrients could help tremendously, along with the other testosterone boosting techniques, right? The problem is, these nutrients are rare, and you need to eat pounds and pounds of these certain foods every day to get the testosterone boosting effects that you're looking for. And I just couldn't handle that. Since many of these nutrients and minerals are plant-based, and believe me, I'm just not a veggie guy. You know what I'm talking about? And I wasn't a fan of all the cooking and all the cleaning and all that mess. Man, what a hassle. So I thought instead, why not try to get some of these testosterone boosting nutrients from a testosterone booster? However, it turns out there just wasn't anything that was naturally effective to get. You see, many of these testosterone boosters flat out just don't work. Others may work for a bit, but at the cost of unwanted side effects that can put you in an even worse spot than where you started. Now, most of the time, testosterone boosters only contain one actual useful ingredient, while the rest, like I said before, are just fillers, making you have to buy up to 5 different types of testosterone boosters to try to get all the necessary nutrients that you actually need. Sounds pretty complicated, right? And most importantly, most testosterone booster supplements are not made under strict guidelines or regulations. So look it, besides not knowing if the ingredients are legitimate or kept in regulated conditions, you really don't even know if companies are putting the appropriate amount of an ingredient you need in it, or if it's going to be effective or not. So that's why at the time, I did not recommend to my viewers, friends, or me for even that matter, to take these testosterone boosters. And that's why in my older videos I made on YouTube, many of my tips were geared towards other forms and techniques of improving testosterone naturally. However, more and more of our male viewers were asking us for something even easier to do, since most men don't have the time to cook or exercise or are even unwilling to completely change their lifestyles. Instead, what these guys were asking for is something that they can just take every day and not have to worry or stress about. They just wanted a testosterone booster that actually works, plain and simple. Now, even with the overwhelming amounts of requests for a testosterone booster, I was still skeptical, believe me. But what actually changed my mind was when I started getting emails and comments from many of my clients and viewers telling me that they were actually trying out random testosterone boosters and asking me what I thought about them and if they should be trying something else. Now, this was a big red flag for me. Look, I don't want my clients, friends, or even the viewers out there taking just anything that only looks good on a label. Think about it, guys. We're talking about your hormones and your bodies. And at our age, if you're taking poor supplements, side effects can definitely be permanent. And believe me, we just can't afford to go through those medical issues. So what we finally decided to do was to work with a GMP, and that stands for Good Manufacturing Practices Company. The certified supplement manufacturer is called Formulife out of Dallas, Texas. And we began formulating a supplement that real men with low testosterone can use to boost testosterone safely without the side effects, by making sure it boosts testosterone naturally in your body so that you may solve the problem instead of just masking it with a temporary fix. Now, it took us a little bit over a year after researching, clinically testing, and working with the lab to approve the highest quality ingredients that are out on the market. Now, honestly, guys, I had no idea so much went into creating a premium testosterone boosting blend. But I wanted to make sure that this supplement had everything a man would ever need for proper hormone health, especially testosterone production. So after that year of clinically testing and by the way, personally testing it myself, we reformulated Test Reload. Now here's a label and what it looks like. With our team and proven results from testing, I feel we've made the best master male hormone formula that allows men our age or even older to take full control of their bodies once again. Now to solve the concerns that even I've had about supplements, Test Reload ingredients are blended, packaged, and stored under sterile, climate-controlled facilities to prevent humidity and oxidation, so that the supplement keeps its potency and the integrity of all the rare nutrients and minerals. Also, our production and storage areas are maintained by a centralized vacuum system that runs 24 hours a day to prevent mold and contamination. And to go above and beyond to keep the supplement from contamination, the supplements always come with proper sealing, and that's very important. I mean, you ever see supplements with seals that are falling off or yellowing? Chances are the supplement was not kept in a climate-controlled staging area, and the effectiveness of the supplement is unfortunately compromised. Furthermore, Test Reload is regularly tested for optimal dosage amounts for peak natural testosterone boosting capabilities and to ensure no dangerous side effects occur. Now, this is very important to me because I know for a fact that manufacturers cut costs by skipping dosage testing procedures, because many of them are not regulated by strict U.S. policies and procedural codes. What this means is that even if you have a good ingredient, it can still end up being ineffective and never get your test level where it needs to be. Besides that, most companies cut costs by underdosing, which is a real problem these days in the supplement industry. Something that I'm very proud of with Test Reload is that we've combined 5 of the most effective testosterone boosting ingredients all into one supplement. And like I mentioned before, you would have to buy 5 or more different bottles to get all of these nutrients. Now here's what I want to do now, is I want to break down these ingredients for you and tell you exactly what each ingredient does and how they work together. And the reason I want to do this is because when you go to Amazon, GNC, or any other big name website, you end up finding hundreds of what I like to call clone formulas or pretenders. And here's what I mean about clone formulas. Most of the supplements that you see are just copies of other outdated supplements made about 10 years ago or more to boost testosterone. They get a new label, a name, and that are sold as a brand new testosterone booster. Now the problem here is that when we men see these certain clone formula ingredient profiles over and over on almost all the testosterone boosters out there, we actually start believing that these are the staple and key ingredients for an effective testosterone booster, which is not true at all. Now these clone formulas are made not because these companies want to harm you or are bad people. It's just that these companies are not run by real fitness professionals who understand male enhancement or testosterone support. And I'm brave enough to say that over 90% of these companies are run by businessmen who probably know little to nothing about testosterone or the real ingredients that we as men need to boost testosterone. The bottom line is this: they are simply copies of formulas thrown together because they know unwitting men are actually going to buy them. So that's why I just want to take just a quick minute to go through the 3 ingredients that you're going to find in just about all these clone formulas that I was actually talking about. Now these red flag ingredients should be an alarm to signify anyone that you are looking at a testosterone booster with a generic clone formula. Okay guys, so listen up. The first and probably most copied ingredient is Tribulus terrestris. Now Tribulus has been around for decades, and if you start checking, and trust me, don't take my word for it, it's pretty much a standard ingredient in any testosterone booster. However, our lab formulation team rejected its use due to its lack of effectiveness based on scientific evidence. But let's take a look at what the U.S. National Library of Medicine had to report about it. The U.S. National Library of Medicine explains that TT, or Tribulus terrestris, is mainly advertised as a testosterone booster that, in theory, may improve male hypogonadism and may enhance performance in athletes. However, the results of clinical trials are not often clear, with some of them not being fully credible. Scientific literature referring to this topic is limited, and the results of existing studies do not present clear conclusions. The Australian Institute of Sport does not recommend athletes' usage of tribulus terrestris. So far, the published data concerning TT does not provide strong evidence for either usefulness or safe usage. Now, without 100% medically supported data or proven clinical trials stating tribulus to be effective and safe for men or even humans, there's no reason for any supplement company to include tribulus in their formula. And in addition to that, WebMD warns that tribulus may actually interact with certain medications. It may increase the effect of certain heart and blood pressure medicines. And for many of you older men out there who are perhaps already on one or more medications, you certainly don't want to be messing around with any of that. Now, the second red flag ingredient is called horny goatweed. Now, horny goatweed, otherwise known as icarine on a number of supplement labels, is a popular product in many testosterone boosting brands advertising male enhancement properties, helping either improve erections, boost testosterone, or even both. Now, even though science has shown that horny goatweed has minor benefits for those who have osteoporosis, there is no true evidence that it actually proves it to be effective for testosterone or as a male enhancement. In addition, WebMD actually reports that some types of horny goatweed are possibly unsafe. Long-term use of these other forms of horny goatweed might cause dizziness, vomiting, dry mouth, thirst, and nosebleed. Taking large amounts of horny goatweed might cause spasms and severe breathing problems. Experiencing a heart arrhythmia has also been reported in a man who took horny goatweed in a commercial product used for sexual enhancement. Now, I've personally known some men who have tried horny goatweed and reported moderate results. However, if there is any chance that an ingredient is unsafe and unproven, I make it a point to exclude it from our formula. And last but not least, and probably the most recognized ingredient, is DHEA. Now, the U.S. National Library of Medicine states that oral DHEA supplementation increased circulating DHEAS in the middle-aged group, with absolutely no significant effect on total testosterone levels. In fact, there is even evidence to suggest that this supplement can be quite harmful, and it has been banned in most countries and marked as dangerous as a result of it being banned. So I highly recommend staying completely away from DHEA. Now, don't take my word for it. Just check out all the countries that it's banned. To be honest, I was shocked to find that there was no evidence to suggest that DHEA increases testosterone levels at all. And I was actually one of those guys who thought DHEA was a proven ingredient. And at the time, I had been researching and reviewing supplements for quite a while. So you can clearly see how important it is to do your own detailed research and find a testosterone booster that will be safe and effective for you. And as you can see, most of the testosterone boosters out there contain ingredients just like these. Flashy names with no proven effectiveness, or have seen some effectiveness but come with many unwanted side effects. Okay, so what are the effective ingredients and why did we actually approve them? Okay, so let's stop wasting more time and get to the ingredients that are in this original formula. First off, we have D-aspartic acid. And if you don't know it, now D-aspartic acid is an amino acid present in neuroendocrine tissues of invertebrates and vertebrates, such as humans. The U.S. National Library of Medicine reported that after 12 days of D-aspartic treatment, the levels of testosterone in participants were significantly increased. Out of the 23 participants, 20 had actually increased testosterone by 42%. Now, the second ingredient is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D isn't just your average run-of-the-mill vitamin. It's actually a vital hormone that regulates many of our genes. Multiple studies have shown that men who get more sunlight, where most of our vitamin D comes from, have higher levels of testosterone. And a recent study from Stanford University showed that vitamin D is also anti-estrogenic, further promoting the regulation of testosterone levels. Keeping testosterone from being converted into the master female hormone, estrogen. Third is fenugreek. Fenugreek is an herb similar to clover that is native to the Mediterranean region, Southern Europe, and Western Asia. The seeds are often used in cooking and to make herbal medicine. Now in our case, we use fenugreek to not only increase testosterone, but also to support ED and prevent free-flowing testosterone from escaping the body. Now this may better allow for a greater flow of free testosterone to be available for the body to utilize. Scientific evidence suggests that this could possibly lead to stronger muscles, strength, energy, and higher testosterone production. And fourth is maca root. What makes maca unique is that it has been studied extensively for its effects on male sexual health, reproductive health, and hormonal balance. This can greatly improve your testicular functions and aid with ED or other sex-related issues. And last but not least, I've added one vital ingredient that many testosterone boosters fail to include, and that's an estrogen blocker. And here's why. You see, when a man's testosterone levels begin to decrease, the female hormone estrogen actually increases. Due to the aging, our body is just not as efficient in blocking these estrogenic effects effectively. And a great deal of your testosterone is actually being destroyed and is being converted to estrogen even as we speak. So even if you were taking a testosterone booster that actually increased your testosterone levels, and unfortunately, this means that all the effects of that booster will be canceled out entirely. Boy, you talk about a waste of time and money. And that's why I've included a key dosage of an estrogen blocker called white button mushroom extract. In scientific studies, white button mushroom extract has actually been shown to suppress levels of estrogen within the body. In fact, it's so effective that it is used to medically treat patients with cancers that are onset due to high levels of estrogen. Oh, and one last thing we made sure to focus on here is absorbability. Common sense, right? Because if your body can't absorb it, it just flat out won't work. You know, we've tested so many ingredients for quality, and we've found that some ingredients can't even process through our blending and encapsulating machines. In fact, we were told that a $200,000 machine broke down the other day due to clogging when we were testing certain ingredients. Just think about it. If it could break down an industrial machine, what kind of harm can it do to your body? Obviously, those ingredients were not properly extracted and cannot break down into the absorbable form that we need. That's why we only use the highest quality and tested minerals and ingredients. The end result is this: test reload. Now, if you've been concerned about your weight or other painful changes that you noticed are related to aging and have now considered improving your testosterone levels naturally, but without having to force feed yourself foods with these testosterone boosting nutrients, or even find the time to work out with the right testosterone boosting techniques, then you owe it to yourself to learn more about Test Reload and even try it for 60 days, risk-free, to see how it can help you naturally boost your testosterone levels. And you can check it out by going to reloadyourtest.com right now. And remember, you're never too old and it's never too late.